The city of angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC Podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Good evening, Los Angeles. Welcome to episode 196 of the Heart of LAFC Podcast. Of course, we are back. I know there's a lot of news. Y'all thought we were going to be complaining about the last game and breaking that down and getting all crazy about that. We got better things to talk about, right? We'll do a little bit. Trust me, a little bit. But yeah, we've got some good news today, no doubt about that. But before we get into all the madness, we gotta introduce our crew, of course. Tony, welcome back to the show, sir.
Glad to be back, Joseph.
Feeling good, right?
Like I said, I'm glad we had that break because it would have been a hot take episode more for me if that came out the way.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why we did what we did is let's get some more news down the line here and then take a measured response. And then bam, welcome back, sir. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing quite well. Bit tired. Back at work, so we're back open in Victoria. So loving life.
Yes, back to normal somewhat. Happy to hear you're back to work, man. It's, these quarantines, no fun. So it's good to hear that a little bit of normalcy is back into the play here. Of course, you guys, I know we could have been really angry last week. We're not going to because, we've got some moves to talk about. It's going to be fine. So the first thing we want to talk about, which, let's be honest, was a relief to many within the community, was probably the first transaction that we heard of last week. Bam, would you like to talk about the first transaction?
You mean the transaction I talked about last podcast?
The official gone, right? We got the details down. Yeah. Matt, right?
Yep.
You got
Matt
going.
yep.
So he's gone. That's done. Of course, there was one other shocker. Tony, who was the other one that we were like, wow, that's an interesting move?
Corey Baird to Dallas.
Right. So Corey goes, and not Dallas. He was Houston, right?
Oh, my bad. No, it was
Houston.
Dallas.
No.
It was Dallas.
It was
What is
Houston.
Dallas.
I don't even know now. I just know he went to Texas. Yeah.
So pretty sure I saw an orange jersey, but he's gone. We made about $250K extra out of that deal in profit, right? So I guess we got him for like $5 and then sold him for $750. So we made some money off the kid in a short amount of time of having him. He started in a promising way, kind of faded down a little bit. The system kind of changed on him in a way. I think he was better for the 4-3-3, but then we started shifting things up with wingback madness, and he kind of looked surplus. So at that point, it made sense. JT made a shrewd move and sold Corey off. So Corey's gone now. And we're like, great. So I guess is the worst kept secret going to happen? And so that's where we're at now. And rather than me asking Tony what the deal is, we'll just play the clip supplied by the team because honestly, it's so pretty. So without further ado. So that's right. Cristian Arango is here. He's home. We saw the cap tilt. And as I always tell everybody, we really don't talk about purchases until we see a cap tilt. And you're like, why? Ink must dry, people. And you could get this whole like transfer certificate thing kicking off. And we don't want to get involved with that. So for us, it's always been more important to talk about the why more than the what. So Tony, give us the why, sir. What's going on with this deal?
So, the why we got him, besides that we got number 9.
Right.
But yeah, we picked him up for, I believe, like, there was a reason why we sold Mac and Corey to make room for him. And also another curious thing, I don't know if it's this year or possibly in the works, again, nothing until it's official. We do have an extra international spot, so we don't know what's going on. We're just beginning. So, but Christian has been as everyone knows, who has been following his social media, has been posting. He's been at the bank. He was at the game, quote unquote, but posted the next day, and then he was at the training center again, and then, which was also very surprisingly, that he did his own tilt cap, not the club. But again, Christian comes from Millonarios. He's pretty much one of the strikers that we needed. He is highly recommended. He is a very top scorer. He, like I said, carried his team pretty much to the playoffs and to the finals, and can score goals from outside. We have another free kick taker. Hopefully that means we also have another person who can take corner kicks as well, because we are in desperate need of those. But overall, it looks perfect for us. But again, we've been burned before, so before anyone buys his jerseys and gets all hyped up on him, let's give him an opportunity to earn his jersey sales, and then we'll go from there.
Yes, must earn the keep. We get that. 100% we get that. Couple lessons. No back passes in rivalry matches, and we should be okay. Just a thought. And maybe debuting him before a rivalry match might work too. So, that would be good. We know he's available now, right? He's a purchase. It's there. He's announced. He's legit. We know what he can do, right? Center forward, natural guy. Is he a dead on target striker? No, he's a worker. He will go to spots. He will put it in. You see what he does. He's a very active player. Nice thing is he can finish, and that's something that we've really, really needed there. We know how many shots we put out there. Somebody that can put something away is critically important, and he fits the system. And you're like, well, yeah, what about the new system? Forget about the new system. It's back to the old system. Let's be honest. Bob loves the 4-3-3. The club is built off of the 4-3-3. I don't see why it would be anything other than that now that he's back into the mix, that we have a new player that can play center forward. It only seems natural. You see how it's going to play out. And you're like, well, where does Brian fall in? Brian would obviously be a reserve for Rossi, right? Naturally. That's honestly it until we see Rossi move on, which, come on, this is football. It's business. You can't think, oh, he's going to stay here forever. Let's be real. Do we want to see him to stay through playoffs? Oh, yes, definitely. But reality is we don't know what this summer is going to bring, because we just spent some dough. We moved some people around, which means we're not afraid to, because we did move a guy that wore an armband, right? Mm-hmm. It's legit. Yep. We're not afraid to move people if it's going to help the team. That's business. So we don't know what's next. You look at the back line, and if we're playing 4 in the back, we've got guys that might move back there as well that could be available for deals. Anything's open at this point, especially if the team wants to win. And every expression from this deal, from this move, tells me they're in it. They get it. They see what's going on. They're making moves. They're making them now. And this is kind of early in the window, so that's fine. It's good. There could be something else going on. We saw Rich when his photos that I guess that's for this deal. Maybe, we got to get clarification from the man. But you never know. There could be something else going on, because we talked about there's an extra spot still. So who knows? I'm just happy we have a guy that consistently scores goals, because that's what he does. That is his job, and he does it rather well. I also like the reactions from the players. Did you guys notice that on social media, that how they were bopping on there? And check out check out his Instagram page, and you could see a twist on there, and the guys were popping off on there too, like pretty excited. So I like that. Yeah, if the guys are jumping on and showing a bit of excitement, that means something. It really does. It's not just being the welcoming committee. It seemed proper. So I like it. Down the spine looks much, much stronger, and that's really where we've always been battling, is what's it going to be down the middle. Well, if it's back to the 4-3-3, it's not bad. You've got Segura, Murillo, Atuesta, right above him, the kid, right? Arango. So not so bad. It's a pretty good start there. Right. Can't complain. So that's where we're at now. Going into a midweek match against SKC, which is a little bit tough. Now you're like, great, you gave us the good news. You got us all excited. Are you now going to depress us with talking about Minnesota? Well, yeah, yes. Of course we are. That's what we do. Gotta do something like that. Yeah, no. We need reality, because we got to prepare ourselves for what's to come. And now you know that what we saw in the Minnesota match there's going to be changes, right? Obvious changes. You made some deals. It's not going to be the same thing. You saw a guy out on the field in that game that we're not going to see again. So it's a new story. Now, in terms of Minnesota, yeah, there were changes to the starting lineup. It was, shall we jump into this, guys? Just go for it.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's
Yeah.
go for it. Yes, go for
I
it.
hate talking about this match, but I know we
Rip the
have to
Band-Aid.
talk about it. So basically, our lineup was pretty straightforward. You had Romero back in goal, as always. By the way, that video, the promo about Romero this week was really cool, or last week, really, showing his background and where his head's at and all of this. Check that out. So Romero in goal. We had Murillo anchoring in the middle. You had Farfan to the left and Blackman to the right. Palacios to the left wing back. Kim right wing back. Right, there's our back line. Segura was listed as injured for the day. We're not sure where he's at yet coming into this next match. Could he be cleared? Could he not be cleared? Anytime you hear about an injury, you just hope all is good for the next match. But that's where we were at against Minnesota. What do we have in the midfield? No shock to anybody. Atuesta in the middle, Cifuentes and Blessing. No surprises there. Up top, Rossi and Vela. So, again, no shock to the lineup, really, except that there was an injury and we had to make replacements. People could talk about Edwards versus Palacios, right? That's the constant debate whether they're in there. But if you're going with the money is Palacios. If you're going with performance, maybe Edwards. So that was the lineup. That's what we were looking at. Bam. How did Minnesota approach this match?
Pretty much how we said last episode. A couple of changes from that. We had Hayes, Finlay, and Reynoso starting. They played their 4-2-3-1. Just the usual for them, really.
Right. Nothing too shocking. Not at all.
No.
Yeah, and we thought they would be countering us. We thought they would be playing what we expected. Truth is, our guys came out flying. Exactly what we need to do. Shots weren't ringing out right away, but in terms of what we do as a club, it was pretty textbook. It was what we expected to see from our side. They were taking the game to them. Did it take forever to get the first goal? Yes, but we still got the goal, and so that's cool. Bam, you want to kind of throw out how that one came about? Or no?
I'll give that one to Tony.
Let's let Tony do that. Tony, you give the heads up. So we abandoned the man.
Oh my, yeah, I can't no play. But that whole first pretty much it was like a nice interception play and a quick counter play to Vela, like from Sifu. Honestly, this was, as much as, again, we love Mac, best wishes for him in Salt Lake, but that pass was perfect. Or no, sorry, Salt Lake, Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado. I'm making
Midwest. I'm like missing up MLS teams all left and right today. My bad. But it was a nice interception of the pass, and then he just threaded perfectly, and Vela literally just, with a man, like literally tugging on him, like just popped it perfectly over Miller's shoulder. Like Miller, like it kind of like after he saw the thing, he tried to do it like there was a gnat on him and just like try to snug it off, and just it was so perfect. But it but it was like, honestly, Sifu and Vela, that whole first half were just connecting all the time. It was so beautiful to see somebody else besides Atuesta just like distribute the ball so like beautifully.
No, there was certain flow, there was press, there was what you wanted to see from it. It was a little chippy, that goal, right? I mean, it was a nice little dink, right? Putting it away and making Miller look kind of foolish on the play, because he kind of, that look he gave, like, really, man, that's what I had to deal with. There's no chance, no chance on that one. But that was pretty much where it was at for the first half. Could have we had more? Yeah, we could have done more, right? That's always been the issue here, is finishing, right? So they get out lucky. We get into the second half, and it starts with a really interesting substitution where
early substitution.
Very
early. So, Bam, you just say it, man. You got the second half, so go for it, sir.
Yeah, quick run in the second half. At 1-0 substitution at halftime, Murillo off for Edwards. I thought Edwards should have started, but, that's just me. 49th minute, Reynoso scores an equalizer for him. 77th minute, something that's never happened for our club this season. Blackman scores a header off a corner. What's going on there? I called it last podcast too. And then we all know 95th minute, absolute heartbreak. Dotson scores the equalizer again.
So this is not a tall tale. You can verify from the Black Army. I had a moment with that corner kick. You guys probably already heard about what went down with that. But one of their players walked past after the corner. I looked at him. So you're gonna dig this out of your net, like I yelling at him like an idiot, like I always do. And they look at me like, whatever, fool. And I looked and I said, watch, they're gonna make a run to the near post. It's gonna throw them off. They're gonna get one. It's gonna happen. I feel it, right? And of course, what do? We actually move off the ball like we never do. And Blackman burns his old boy. His roommate gets burned, which is a beautiful thing. And he puts one away. And that just, I think we all lost our minds because we actually did something on a dead ball for once in our lives. And it was Blackman, of all people, which, hey, it was a great, well-placed back post header. Like, that was textbook, man. You got to be happy with that he went in there and took it, right? You got to get it physical to make it happen. And if you look at Minnesota's backline, they're all monsters anyway. So it's kind of not an easy one to score on. And so he puts it away, and that's fine. And again, looks like, honestly, we're all celebrating like this one is done. It's a late one. We've got these guys. And then what's supposed to be garbage time comes around, right? And, of course, our guys don't play it that way. We just keep playing like we always do. Kind of like an academy team would late in the game. I don't know. And let it slip away simply because we don't play what's necessary late in games, right? Nobody's faking injuries. Nobody's taking yellow cards to waste time. Nobody's grinding out a result. Last 10 minutes of a match, let's be honest, should be choppy, messy, ugly. Take your win and move on. Not a run and gun. Let's just get a nut. No, you kill it. And that didn't happen. We didn't play it smart. It cost us once again. And you just keep on my end. I can't help but feel that experience is probably the biggest issue here. Is that we don't have those gritty veterans that'll be like, all right, guys, it's time to shut things down. Leadership on the field that's the vet, right? The old vet that just grinds things. We don't have that guy, right? We don't have that kind of mindset yet, which we should. There should be something there to just cancel out a match. It's not that hard to kill off a match. You can make it a mess. Like, why can't you, right? You see it all the time. So, bam, throw it in, man. You're ready for
Three words. Park the bus.
It wasn't hard, was it?
No.
Play it 8-1-1. Park the bus. 8-1-1. Done.
We should.
There has to be no.
I was gonna say we should know how to play this because it's just like, to be honest, like they park the bus in front of us all the time. So it's like we should know how to park a bus if that we
watch it for. Yeah, we watch it for 85 minutes a game, most games.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't get it. Now, I know the backline changes with Murillo coming out. Two normal center backs aren't there. We don't have the experience in the back. I get that for the pressure moments. It's really hard to organize with what we had back there. But still, there's no reason to get into a situation like that. And yes, is it a nice goal? Yes, it was a beautiful goal. Just like the other time we let one in late. But it was a beautiful goal because you allowed for an open pass from distance. You allowed that to happen because you didn't cancel the game out. You allowed flow to occur because you were trying to still score some goals and make something happen. Mm-hmm. And so rather than grinding out 3 points, we have to settle for one because, I guess we just want to play pretty to the death. Yeah, I'm not happy with it. Tony, are you happy with it?
No, I'm not happy with it. I'm not even happy with the first goal. Honestly, it was a throw-in again. It was a throw-in again. Like, the shot was beautiful. Like, honestly, that was, for Farfan to stop, that was just a bullet. Like, you know what I mean? He had a quick reaction, and you can't blame him. And you can't blame Romero. That was like a bullet shot. But the part leading up to it, you could have stopped. And, again, I think now...
I think a lot of that, it's the change. It's the substitution that happened. If there wasn't a legitimate injury, then we got a lot to talk about, right? Then there's some real conversations to be had here. I can't help but think that there was something going on that in that moment where he wasn't right. And you weren't going to take a chance. That's all I can figure in the moment. It can't be anything else. If it is anything else, it's just like, I felt like rotating players. Dude, really?
Yeah.
So, yeah, not good. Not good at all. So that's pretty much how the game went. Everybody's like, well, want to talk about stats. Do you really want to talk about stats? I really don't feel like talking about stats. I really don't.
No.
I think we dominated everything we needed to dominate. Everything was where it was. Textbook by the book was what it was supposed to be, and we gave a game away. That's it. That's that simple. There's not much else you can add to it. There's nothing on paper you can say, well, this is the reason why. No, it was on the field. It was settled there. It was the approach to the end of the game that was not where it should be. We get burned. We don't learn from it. And now we're in this position where, honestly, if you would have taken those 2 games, now you're second place, right? Yep. You're pushing. Now you're pushing for top in the division. Instead, you're in the weeds with everybody else, and you're still chasing people you shouldn't be chasing anymore. So cold, hard truth has to be said. We blew it. That simple. And now you got to wake up and move on because the games aren't going to get any easier. CONCACAF Gold Cup is now over, so more talent is flooding back into lineups. It will not be easier. Now we get into the slog. Now teams, honestly, in August, it's Jekyll and Hyde with MLS sides. Some teams look like they're going through the doldrums. Not anymore. August, you'll see the games get much more physical. They get more pace to them. Teams start taking it serious if they think they have a fighting chance to make it. This is when the real season, to me, has always been, is August. This is when teams that have flowed really easily, win a bunch of games, now they start getting into losing streaks. Things get kind of wild in August. So here we go again. And, of course, that leads us to the next match. But before I do that, I know people are chomping at the bit right now. I see the comments. So let's just throw it out there because, honestly, gentlemen, they've all earned that, including Jason, who's on there. Sorry, brother. We should have had you on tonight. We will get you on soon enough, my man. Let me see here. Ooh, getting in early. Hector, get ready to get hurt again. Let's do this. We're not going to hurt you. We're just going to tell you how it is. And we got a reason to celebrate. We got a striker now. Carson may have Chicharito. We have Chicho.
He goes by Chicho. That's his nickname.
There it is. What's the difference? One has a bum hamstring. The other scores goals. There we go. Okay. Cristiano is not too young and not too old. Just don't want to get my hopes up. You're right. He's in his prime, guys. We signing somebody in his – what? We do that? Okay.
Just let the dust settle on him. Let the dust settle. See what happens.
Right. Looking forward here. Marvin Chavez. Yo, welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. Hooligan Ox. Yep. We're going to see him on pretty soon, guys. I'll give you guys the heads up when Hooligan's coming back, but he's definitely coming back on the show. Jason Ariano, of course, coming back as well. It's a rotating crew. You know how this operates. In the 90-plus minute, I drove me nuts. They didn't take the ball to the corner, didn't take time off the clock instead of trying to score another goal. Exactly, dude. It's not – at that point, the game is over. You need to end it. Take what's beautiful, destroy it. Simple. Hooligan Ox, Bob should have used our remaining subs to waste time. Yeah, right? You left that on the table, too. Cards on the table. Not cool. Nestor just got in. Was Chicho discussed already? We did discuss him, so you're going to have to check it later. But we all welcome him with open arms. It's a beautiful thing. Marvin Chavez, too many missed opportunities. We should have scored 3. We're always living on the edge of every game until the last second. It's frustrating. Agreed. We don't put teams away. And then when it's time you shouldn't be dealing with that anymore, we're still trying to put teams away rather than just take the score and move on. Ariano, yes, Ox, they should have used more subs too, especially being up by 1 and playing a midweek game after a Saturday game.
Yeah.
Kill it. Mark Lopez, Nestor. Yep, Joseph confirmed we did indeed sign Chicho. Yeah, I think we said that last week. We hinted it was done. And then the airport story and him saying it, his agent, it was old news. And his club announced it.
Yeah.
Yep.
On Twitter, yeah. It was up before we even had a chance to announce it, which was, again,
funny.
Yeah, but again, silly season over there.
Quite honestly, I think we were just delaying it to stay away from Gold Cup, guys. Like, we didn't want it to get buried into last night's madness while y'all were driving home and getting all crazy. Hector Gonzalez, is Chicho's visa still pending? How long would that take? I don't think his visa is pending unless it's a work permit that he's got to deal with, a work visa, because he's in town. He is here. And usually you can't come to town unless that's settled. because that could affect you. You usually have to stay home until that gets settled. So it doesn't look like that's the case. It sounds like we're ready to go. And then I'm hearing also from certain sources that yeah, should be fine. CeeLo Express, 2 weeks, I believe, but hopefully they speed up the process. I'll talk about it in a few. Marvin Chavez finally got a damn corner goal. I prefer they kick it to the middle over doing the small pass and trying to penetrate. We never get results that way. Exactly. Again, that the near post run was great. It forces teams, because honestly, I've always said, what if we play a near post? We don't have height, right? So what if we actually do play a near post flick just to create disruption? Like, why not? Doesn't work. This time we did the run, and then we put one kind of right in the mix. So the run, everything paid off. It was the right move. Well done, everybody involved. Should have subbed in Harvey. Like, honestly, I thought that if Murillo is injured, why wouldn't Harvey be the guy to come in the middle? I get that. That's debatable, right?
I think it was more speed, to be honest. You know what I mean? Harvey is not the fastest guy on our team anymore. He's not as young as most of the guys, so maybe speed would be an issue. And I do understand it's later in the game and people are tired, but like if we were playing too fast for him to come in, to be honest. I think that was Bob's mentality. But again, I do agree with you. Yeah, Harvey to calm everything down would have been the smart move, but again,
late, right?
Yeah. 80th minute.
That'll be your garbage time sub. Waste some time off the clock, slow the game down, kill it. Yeah, but early sub, probably no, it didn't make sense. And Tony, you're right, dude. He's not gonna press the way we like right now, for sure. Hector, what hasn't Rossi been able to dominate? Is it maybe it says why hasn't Rossi been able to dominate? Is it new formation? I think so. I think the system doesn't fit him as well as it should. I do think now that you can have them switching off from right to left, because Vela and him love to do that with the target in the middle, at least the guy that can finish in the middle. I think it's going to get much more dynamic in the coming days. Ooh, did I say the coming days? I did say the coming days. Hector, I want to say it is the formation. It is. It's the system right now. It's just the way it runs. Huganox, no stats needed. Exactly. We're not wasting time on stats. I'm going to say Farfan is not a good CB, and Moon is not a good defender. He can be a wing back, but not a fullback. To me, it was the middle. Honestly, I think Farfan is good when he has a leader next to him that will direct a bit, right? Somebody can really hold things. And in this case, it was Tristan. And I just don't think they have any familiarity together back there. I don't. I just doesn't make sense, right? You have Segura, you have Murillo. Those are the guys. Now we're going 30 deep into that one position. You knew it was going to get funky. That's for sure. Marvin Chavez, if we do 4-3-3, what happens to Moon? I'd like to see him be a right midfielder experiment. I think Moon just plays as the right back, but more aggressively. Yep. I think that's what you're going to see, and they're going to see trade-offs. There will be times when Palacios goes up and Moon hangs back. There's going to be times. So I think it's just very situational in this case, where they're both going to still do their crazy moves up top. I do still think that Moon would be the guy that Kim Moon-Wan would be the guy that we would see push more, even Palacios in those cases.
With the 4-3-3, I could see Edwards losing a lot of time.
I agree. Yeah.
Which is a shame, because I'm on the Edwards bandwagon. He's been playing well. Him losing time is going to hurt.
Yeah, but the season will get a little bit funky here. It will get busy, and you will need to rotate players. That's for certain. So he'll get his time, just not as much as we'd like to see, because honestly, he really was coming into form here. That's for sure. Jason, thank you for bringing us Reunite the Blessings. So yes, we do need to talk about this. Thank you for doing that, Jason. So really right now, Blessing has been separated from his wife for, good God, 2 years? Nearly that?
I think so. Yeah.
4 applications now. Trying to get a student visa for his wife, and 4 denials. That's not good. I can tell you firsthand, I have dealt with the USCIS. I'm not talking smack about them because that's not going to help anybody's case. What I can tell you, having to go with my wife to Juarez in the middle of a war zone, it was the incursion at the time, was not fun to get the interviews in Juarez. There's things they put you through that you have to deal with and you have to do. And it's not fun. And in many cases, it does seem a little subjective. So it's tough. It's real tough. And so, I'm hoping maybe with a new administration in place, maybe this works out. But in our case, we have, we fully support the blessings and anything that we can do. It is my hope that even if they needed help with legal fees, if that was the case, then I'm sure the community would definitely jump in, because I can tell you that too. It's not cheap dealing with USCIS. I've, again, had to deal with this stuff, and it's nothing's easy about this. The process is always brutal, and the applications are never fun. I'm still shredding records and records and records that you have to supply in the time. So I know where he's at. I get it, man. It hurts. We want to see this all get to a resolution. That's for certain. So yeah, we're praying for you guys. And again, if you need anything, let the community know. We want to help any way that we can. That's for sure. Thank you, Jason, for bringing that one up. You guys want to add anything else to that?
No, yeah. You said it pretty much like the same thing what Jonathan said last podcast. You know what I mean? Like as he brought it up, and pretty much, to be honest, he started this whole new hashtag, and thank you for starting it and helping try to get him reunited. Because at the end of the day, I don't know if most people don't realize it's when you're in a new area, not even like culture, not even that, like you're in a new culture where you're like, you don't have like your culture around you. It's harder to like kind of involve yourself in it, because it's hard. Like, you know what I mean? Like my girlfriend's from Connecticut, and when I go out there, I feel so out of place because it's not the same way I grew up here in LA. So to have someone who you're familiar with and just to help you, just kind of like ease your mind, be there for you, it does help a lot. So that's all I have to say on that situation. So just, hashtag reunite the blessings.
Well said, brother. Humanity definitely needs to win the day. I think that's where our heads are at right now, for sure. Moving forward, I know it's tough, guys, and we're going to keep bringing it up till we hear some news or we can help in some way, somehow, because the helpless feeling is definitely there, I think, from all of us, that we just want to help, but how, right? It's just so hard. Ox, we will see Chicho for the home game after the All-Star game. That's your opinion on that. If I'm going to make a bet, and they're like, there he goes again. If I'm going to make a bet, I'd say he's ready for San Jose.
I don't want to see another player start.
Not against the Galaxy, right? No.
Yeah. I love to see that. Yeah, but let's see. We've had Horta, and we already know what happened there. And then we had Rodriguez, and we already know what happened with him. So let's not put that voodoo on him.
He hasn't got the hate yet.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He needs to get burned by those guys, or at least have to deal with some elbows and all the other fun stuff to know where he's at in that rivalry. Yeah, you need the anger, right? There's a lot of frustration in our current lineup. The guys know. The guys that are there know, right? They've felt it. The pain is there. We need to hurt these guys. We need to hurt them bad. Everybody knows that. Bringing a new guy into that mix. I know they did it, and it paid off one time. I get that. But on our end, we have the lineup, even without him, that can take that team. Right, Bam? We could do it without him for that one.
We can, but get him for San Jose and let him destroy them.
Right. Get some shooting practice in and then go kill the Galaxy. There it is. You hear from Bam, right? Dude, I just can't wait to see him and Vela together, like, and Cifuentes setting things. It's going to be pretty. It'll be good. I'm feeling good about things. Ox jumps on with Reunite the Blessings. Agreed, sir. Agreed. And Ox also says, I'm loving the Moon and Vela connection. It's poetry in motion. I think I called it, 2 episodes ago, Batman and Robin. It really does feel like it's
going on that.
Mm-hmm.
Go on that. I'm going to call the Holy Trinity Sifu, Moon, Vela.
There it is. No, it's true. It's true. And then Blessing in his, again, if we're playing the 5 in the back, then it's a beautiful thing. But 4-3-3 is going to be a little different dynamic, guys. It will. But I know Moon will be fine on that. He will get his moments to move up. He doesn't have to have a 5-man back to be effective. He can do this. That's for sure. Cool. So thank you guys for the comments. We're going to move on forward here to the next part of the show, of course, which is always our community conversations. And Bam, you have several community updates that you wanted to bring up, correct?
Just the one main one tonight. The one main one is the kickball tournament that's going to be happening on the 5th of September. So if you want to put a team for that in there, need 10 to 13 people per team. Email bagivesback@gmail.com after 10 a.m. on Friday coming up. After 10 a.m.
Right.
Not before, just after 10 a.m. It's going to be $70 per team. Should be a good day out.
It's going to be fun. Going to be warm. It's Labor Day weekend when this tournament's going to kick off. I will definitely be there, probably playing, probably umpiring. I did it last tournament, so early, yeah. I'm in it. I know, Tony, you're gonna be in it, right? You're
of course, you know me.
Yeah. So we'll be there. Honestly, last time the event was insane. Like so many teams, so much fun, food. The skyline is in the background while you're playing. It's just a cool vibe all the way around. So if you've got a team, you're in a supporter group, want to get into the mix, definitely jump on so we can build this thing and make it one heck of a show. And if you're one of the existing supporter groups, build your team quick, guys, because space is going to be very limited. It will sell out quick. There's not going to be as many teams, I think, this year, but definitely good competition. So jump in, make it happen. So thank you, Bam, for that information. Any other community updates before we move on through?
That's all I could find at the moment. On night shift, so I'm a bit tired at the moment.
No, I think there's a backpack drive by Breezy Foundation this weekend, and I think they were looking for volunteers for that too. So look into that as well. I'm sure LAFC has something listed on the page for what's going on there. Other things that really stood out to me, there's been a lot of crazy results around the league. If you'll see, there's some unsettled results, including the team that we're gonna play this week, who got taken out by Dallas. But I think New England is taking losses. Like, the guys that look like they were going to be the standard bearers from here on out, guess what? August is approaching. Things get funky. And, of course, players are gone on international duty. So that is going on. Check it out. The league's been kind of wild. It's good. It helps us because that means we can maybe sneak in, even though we're not getting the results yet. So let's see what happens when the next match comes around. So I do want to mention that. And then the Black and Gold Vinyl Club minutes. We're going to have Tony with his offerings tonight, sir. So you have the floor, sir.
All right. So I don't have CDs of this because I don't know where half my CDs when I moved out of my parents' house went. But since we are playing Kansas City, I thought, being a hip hop kid as being a skateboarder and also listening to rock, I thought the perfect one would be probably Tech Nine's Ready the Religion. One of the best songs, honestly, is my favorite. I always bump is Caribou Lou. It also teaches you how to make a nice jungle juice if you need a nice thing to mess you up during a tailgate. But yeah, exactly. So Ready the Religion, good album. And like I said, Tech Nine is one of those underground rappers that most people know. And also he reps Kansas City. No matter what team it is, he goes hard for any Kansas City team.
There it is. So what you're saying is if you want to get amped and ready to go for this Wednesday's match, you better jump on it. Sounds good. I like this idea. Sounds good to me, sir. So well done, sir. Again, hip hop, we get a mix of things. Who knows? We could have classical for the next one. I mean, the next one actually falls into line with the one, the only, actually the two Philly and Scarf should be on the next episode. So Defenders will be joining us. And so it's on you guys. You now have homework, Defenders. You're now on the clock. It has officially begun. The Black and Gold Vinyl Club Minute. You are on the clock for Thursday's episode to give us a fine album. And if it comes someone from New York, I wouldn't be shocked at all. So looking forward to that one, gentlemen.
Or England.
Or England, yes. We shall see. Watch him throw in like a Hungarian polka just to throw me off, which I would be fine with. That's okay. You never know. On that note, talking polkas, which I will throw that at you guys late September, guaranteed. We're going to get into the next match so we don't get lost in the things. And that would be, of course, LAFC versus SKC. Yeah, we've had experiences with these guys, haven't we? That was that match we lost. That was supposed to be our turning point. That appeared to be our turning point. That seems to now just be a temporary remedy. I guess we need another dose. I think we had our dose this past week, let's be honest. So with another dose now in place, we've had our booster, our vaccine in our booster. Now we've got them in our sights, angry, changes to things, ready to go kick some butt. But you know what? Casey's Casey, right? You can't lie. You can't think that they're going to just walk away with things or that they're going to give up against us, because guess what? They took their bitter pill this past week as well. Bam. Give them a heads up. How did Casey do last week?
So last week they played their usual 4-3-3 and ended up losing 2-1 to Dallas, of all teams. A couple of the highlights for the match. Dallas scored inside 2 minutes. Inside 2 minutes they scored. Beautiful shot outside the 18-yard box. Imagine shooting from outside the 18. How amazing would that be? Then in the 51st minute, another goal by Dallas. Guess where that came from? Outside the 18-yard box.
Must be nice.
There were two absolute cracking goals. In the 59th minute, SKC had a great chance outside the 18-yard box. They got deflected in. Johnny Russell, one of their most hard-running attackers, goes for the second attempt, but it gets blocked away. In the 68th minute, the first and only yellow card for SKC came to Salio. He thought he was at the Olympics at the high dive. Bit of a dive in that one. Yellow card for that. 74th minute, SKC had a beautiful goal. Then VAR kicked in and went, nah, you're offside. And 85th minute, Johnny Russell doing Johnny Russell things, scoring a header from the back post. A couple of the key stats from the game. Possession, SKC was up 58% to 42%. Crosses, 35-4, SKC. SKC had 35 crosses that game.
That's insane. How does that, was Dallas just seeding the wings? Like, oh, okay, we'll just play it tight in the middle. Like, what is that?
They must have been.
So weird.
That's like a full half on the corner.
Right.
Yeah.
Weird. So you're saying it was a total domination? Is that what we're suggesting here?
Yep. SKC just dominated. It was a rough game. There was 16 fouls for the whole 26 fouls for the whole game. 1 yellow to SKC, 4 to Dallas. SKC had 2 subs at the 61st and 77th minute. Sanchez and Harris on for Walter, and Shelton. And that's really about it from their game, besides it being a physical game.
So the score didn't match the run of play. We know how that feels. They still do what they do. SKC does SKC things. But it was a limited lineup, right? I mean, they were missing some key members
Players,
of the team.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which hopefully they're still missing this game.
Right, and I'll talk about that right now. I'll jump in on that. So potential starting 11 is a bit of a mystery for this match because the Gold Cup, you all saw, ended on the weekend, and you saw players from SKC featuring in that match. They went late into the evening. So you kind of have to assume that the guys that weren't available probably still aren't going to be available for this match unless it's limited time late because they really think they're going to pull something off with a guy that's been playing in Vegas and right? Putting in way too many minutes in a hard-fought match. Now I want to risk him and put him into a match to do this. Certain players that have had injuries already this season, do you really want to do that? So that's where it's at. So their lineup, some things are predictable, right? So Amelia is going to be in net, right? All-star goalkeeper. We know the work he puts in. You have Fontas and probably Sanchez as center backs, potentially. Could be Isimat Mirin instead of Sanchez. So that could be your interchangeable situation at the center back position. We're not sure who it's going to be because they've been platooning a little bit with all these guys being gone. Martin's on the left, Lindsay at right back. I think that's what we're going to see again. Kinda, Walter, and Espinoza is their midfield. We know Busio technically would be in Walter's spot, but that's not a concern, I think, for us this week or for many soon. That's not happening. So that's their midfield. So it's going to be a little bit weird. And then right mid, or I would say left wing would be Salwi, Shelton center forward, Russell right wing. I mean, I probably misspelled or mispronounced Shallowy's name, but there you go. Really, it's Shallowy Russell is going to be your big threat. That's going to be the trouble. Now, we know who's missing, who played for Mexico. Yeah, he would be your center forward at times. You do have subs like Sanchez, Harris, potentially that could come into this match, right? Sanchez might see some minutes in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be an interesting lineup for them. It's not their preferred lineup, that's for certain. So they have some people missing from the lineup. We have potential because we are not sure yet about the health, right? The reports haven't come out yet on everybody's health. But we could be missing two key center backs in this situation, or we might just not because we rested people, and that could be the strategy as well. What we know is the midfield is now clearly defined with Mac being sold. There's not much of a debate, right? You know who's going to be in our midfield. No shock there. So that's their lineup. That's going to be their approach. Well, what do? I think Bam kind of just explained it, right? 4-3-3. They're going to go heavy on the wings, and they're going to bring the ball into the middle. That's what they do. But as we all know, when we played them, they can't really do that when our wings are playing on point. Okay?
Yeah.
So if we're playing five in the back or the wing back setup again, we kind of pin them. And we're going to pin a midfield that's not as strong this time.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't help but feeling a little bit bullish knowing that we have a system that can actually counter them man for man in this case. So, Bam, anybody injured long-term for them that we just know for sure we're not going to see?
Yeah, Hernandez, he last played against us, has been out with a knee injury. There's nothing to find about a return date for him, so he's out indefinitely pretty much. Hopefully, I can see Salawi taking a few more dives, get some more yellow tickets, and getting red carded would be nice. As I was saying, that just 26 fouls in the last game. It was a choppy game. I can expect them doing it to us as well. Another 12 fouls on us. Hopefully some yellow cards. Hopefully they get a red card this time. We all know what happened last time.
Yeah, match management yet again. Let's just say it, right? You have a man on a yellow. He's forced into a situation he cannot get any decent result outside of a red card, and it happened. And then we gave the game away. We know this story. We've seen this story. It keeps happening. No, right? Enough of this.
Yeah,
it's time to change. This is a change.
Instead of us writing the story, let them write the story.
Right? It's on, and it's home cooking. I gotta say. So that's the other thing. You're getting Casey out of their safe little home, right? They play different when they play there.
Of course,
they're out of the lovely flatlands of Kansas and into the mix of Los Angeles, and they're gonna have to try to escape from LA, as far as I'm concerned. Oh, I would love to see that poster. Shout out to the boys making all those amazing posters. Right. So yeah, they're going to be dealing with a very different LAFC and a very angry 32-52. Honestly, just anger all over the place because we're just over a lot of stuff going on. We expect more, and we'll be singing for it 90 plus. So they're going to be in a different situation with us. So I'm there. Now, that being said, where do guys fall in? What happens with Edwards in this match? What happens with B-Rod? that's to me the debate, right? Where is it going to play at? Is B-Rod going to get minutes? Tony, do you think B-Rod's going to get some minutes in this one?
I hope so, because we need to figure out what we're going to do with him with our new striker that's coming in, you know? Does he fall back and play his natural position finally, and then we mess up the midfield a little bit? Or do we use him as a super sub? It's like I at the moment I don't know what we do with him, or do we? We need to figure out Edwards. Honestly, I would again. We talk about him so much on this podcast, but he's earned his keep. You know what I mean? Like he hustles, he does everything. So I would love to see Edwards on the field for sure, but again, we need to figure out what we're going to do with B-Rod first. Once with Chicho on coming on, because Chicho's probably going to do the whole Kim situation where he gets a couple minutes, works his way in, and then we finally find a spot. B-Rod's another one. Is like we need to figure out where he belongs in the system, because again, he's taking up a DP spot, and we're not getting our money's worth with him.
Right. We got to earn it. And I can't help but feel like the last match, if B-Rod had come in as one of those late substitutes, just hold stuff up high up in the corner, like he does, right?
Yeah.
Just create. It would have been a different game, right? The hold up play would have been there. Didn't happen, right? We didn't use him and the tools that he provides. This game, though, there would be a place for him, for sure. At least second half, he has some speed. There is no doubt we could have utilized him. And this is a match that I honestly think with what they are dealing with on their back line and their kind of shifted lineup, this is a good game for him to come in late and just do some damage. So I'm with you on that. I think not starter, but definitely sub. It just has to be this week. Edwards agreed. Defensively, he's better, right, Bam? I mean, Edwards is a better defensive option.
I agree with that. I reckon we're going to run with a 4-3-3. We're going to throw the 5-3-2 out, run with a 4-3-3, have Edwards in the back line, start Rodriguez in the middle, and have Blessing up top.
Oh, I don't like him up top. I'll be straight up. I don't like Blessing up top. He drives me crazy up top. And I think the only time Blessing's super effective is when he has the five guys behind him, right? He's got, or three center backs just kind of built into it. Then he feels free. Same with Sifu. He gets a little more aggressive with that setup. So I can't help but feel like when that the first half against SKC though, the last time we played them was when it was glorious. Like the system, like this is right. Boom. I think it could be happening again if we do it again.
Yeah, but with the new signing coming in, I can see us revert back to the 4-3-3, having Blessing up top to play the new signing role just for this game to try and get it all set. If you need to, swap Rodriguez Blessing around during the matches so they're getting used to the 4-3-3 again. That's all I can see.
I can see that.
I could see it in the second half. Like first half, you do what works, right? What we know works, and then second half, if you can pop a couple, or in the first half, then now you can kill them with this counterplay off the 4-3-3 that we traditionally do play. I could see that happening. We did that against Dallas when they were here, right?
Yes, we did.
But it was reversed. I could see that happening. I mean, definitely I could see something like that. It would be good to see. Again, we need these guys to get some minutes and get used to it. Otherwise, your audition is going to be against San Jose on the road. And they're not bad right now. So I'll just say that. They're not a pushover. It's not what we're used to. They're not chasing shadows like they used to do. They're looking a lot more organized these days. So, and we'll talk about it in the next episode. So we've really got to get things right, because that's not going to be an easy game. It's not like the old days. That's a more competitive match. New boy, do you think he even gets any minutes, or we're going to wait for San Jose?
Late. If he's available, I say late. Just to kind of get him acquainted. Again, I'd rather take the Kim approach and slowly get him associated. Yes, there is synergy, again, like I've been saying since we've been talking about him, with Atuesta, with Sifu, with all the Colombian guys on our team. There is some, there's no barrier there, but I'd rather not just throw him to the wolves and get ready. It's like he's not young, he's not old, but again, systems change and he needs to know what Bob's thinking, what Bob would like him to do. That's the thing.
Great. Bam, what's your take?
Yeah, late. No sooner than the 80th minute, unless there's a injury somewhere, which heaven forbid there's not. Yeah, I can see 80th minute him coming in for Rossi. Or if we're 5-0 up at halftime, yeah, chuck him on halftime.
Imagine 5-0 against SKC. Just that doesn't happen.
Like,
yeah, right. They're not that. They're still a good team, guys. They're still, I think, top of the table here.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That being said, though, on this podcast, we dropped some bombs.
We do.
We
do drop. His hot takes are killer, aren't they? So here's my take. I know it's a completely inaccurate hot take. We have a better chance of seeing him as the honorary Falconer than seeing minutes in this match.
Sure.
Straight up. I think it's a photo op situation. Maybe he visits the North End and says hi to everybody, but doesn't get minutes. Why? First rule in Bob football, you have to be in condition. Rule number 1. And he has to prove that this week. And he hasn't had enough time to really prove that yet. Just like you did with Kim Un-Hwan, you have to prove you're in condition to play the pressing system that we require. I know you're like, but you already know he can. We know he can. But again, he has to get in shape with the team. And so I just don't think first game you're going to risk a guy to injury, especially against a team that likes to hack like crazy. SKC loves the physical play. Why would you leave this guy to the Wolves? I just don't see it. He's too much of an investment to be in that situation. Against San Jose, limited minutes. I think he's one of those late, like he's in the game for 5 minutes. And then the Galaxy, probably the same story. Super sub situation. And that would be where my head would be at. And then after that, you've got your killer starter, and you just go from there. He's got his minutes in. He knows the team after 3 weeks. He's in full shape, and he goes and kills it. That's my take. I just don't see him. I don't even see him in the 18 for this one. I don't. I think it's more photo ops for him this week. I do. My take. I know. Let's leave it for the gallery though, because we've got a lot of guys here with some comments. Our beautiful, beautiful base of support. I've got some cool names to bring out here. So let me see here. Let's jump on to Nestor's first comments about Kim. Nestor S says, have you guys noticed Kim is not the same player with a 4-3-3? He shines more with the 5-3-2. I believe he does because he has more freedom. And I think that's, less risk, right? If you have 3 center backs. So, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, he has more freedom. He has more freedom with the 5-3-2.
Right.
So,
I think I think he does have more freedom, but I think it's also him still trying to figure out the system with the new defenders. You know what I mean? Because, like, he hasn't had a stable back line besides Murillo and Segura, because it's Farfan, it's Blackman, it's Edward. So once there's a core there, I think he'll probably have more freedom to do what he needs to do in the 4-3-3.
There it is. That makes sense. Let's see who else we got for comments. Hooligan Ox. We got to beat them while they were down. They just lost. Let's go. They lost to Dallas.
Yeah,
right. They're gonna be angry. And he corrects himself. FC Dallas. Yes, you're right, sir.
That last one from Nectar. There is a poster we put up on the social medias. Look out for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be all over the place. Yeah, we'll put more up for sure. Pablo Morales, Dale Black and Gold podcast. People, check it out. I have the feeling we are going to win. I'm feeling bullish about this as well, but we can't count our chickens, right? We just can't. I second that, Pablo from Hooligan Ox. Smalls Kenobi jumps in, and here comes the real talk here. Mm-hmm. I almost hate being overconfident, because when we do, the game ends up being harder than it should have been. Yeah, I can't help but feel that when we're confident, our team gets overconfident. And I do believe our guys kind of sip their own Kool-Aid a little bit on this. Like, just don't quite. Yeah, we play to the level of our opponents in many cases, so don't do that. Hooligan Ox, they need to make a poster that has to do with the Wizard of Oz and have it say you're not in Kansas anymore. Dude, you never know what our crew is going to do. But that's funny. I think we'd see more Children of the Corn than anything else. Something a little more dark. Science fiction based, that's for certain. So we shall see. Or Signs, right?
Yeah.
Something with corn. It has to involve corn. You know who we're dealing with. Moving forward, Marvin, here he goes. He says, we need Raitu to create chances so Vela and Rossi do less distant playmaking and get more finishing opportunities. That's the 4-3-3. That's for sure. That's that system that honestly Bob prefers. I think the team prefers. They do what they do right now out of necessity. Yes, it looks prettier to me, but at the end of the day, the system is the 4-3-3. That's what they want to go back to. We can debate it all we want, but it seems very obvious to me that the minute they get back to it, they're going back to it. Pablo Morales, I am not overconfident. I just have the feeling that this is not going their way. And that terrible ending last match is going to have a big impact on the heads of our players. They have responded. Pablo's in the right place here because they have responded in the past to this kind of nonsense. I'll call it that. The last time we lost to SKC, we were mad, and I'm sure that's fresh in our minds that we gave up a game against them that we shouldn't have given away. And so I think we're going to come out on fire against these guys. 100%. I agree. Down to Roberto Espinoza. He says, doubt Chicho gets any minutes. I'm in the same boat. Let him fly the Falcon. Let Ollie get an introduction to him. That's cool. I'm good with that. Right, it's a fine introduction. Yeah. Hooligan Ox, my take on Chicho is that Bob better play his natural position so he can play the way he's meant to play. You mean he's not going to use Mac's role? Our new wingback, everybody. Congratulations. Hey. Still calling Brian as wingback. I'm just saying it for fun at this point. Cheers all from Rastigar. Yeah, we love you, man. No doubt about that. We love the vinyls, dude. It's good stuff. Roberto Espinoza, cheers. Gary, exactly. Marvin Chavez, I prefer Blackman at right back, Moon at right wing back. Defensively, probably. You know, it's again, you have two guys that can really do the job. If you're playing the 4-3-3, you have two guys that can really do the job. Yeah, and the 5-man, for sure, Moon owns it on the outside. And Blackman does play better as center back than he does as right back in that system. It's nice to have options. That's for sure. Yes. I can't complain either way. I can't. They'll do the job. That's for sure. Marvin Chavez is calling for the 4-3-3 for that system. You might be right. It's just the distribution from Kim is just epic right now. So it's hard to see a difference. Hooligan Ox giving a shout out to Gary as well. Lots of shouts out for Gary because he earned it. Good man, no doubt. Roberto Espinoza, we have been giving up way too many games we should have won. That's been the story of this entire season. And it's not like lessons have really been learned yet. We've had temporary lessons learned, but we got casual with it. And it's killing us this season. Honestly, we should be contending for top in the division, and instead we're in the mix. We're in the heat, and we're not getting out of it anytime soon unless we can find a way to close out games like grown-ups do. Not academy teams, because honestly, the finishes look very academy to me, not pro. So do it, make it happen. You know what you have to do. You have to make it ugly. Please make it ugly. We don't care how pretty it looks in the last 10 minutes. We honestly don't. You gave us 80 good ones. Junk it up. Let us go sing and laugh at the nonsense and the shenanigans you want to put out there to kill the game. We know the other term I like to use. It starts with an SH, housery. But yeah, we need some of that. Honestly, I would love to see our team with an edge that just angers everyone, right? Something like what Herrera does for Mexico, right? Things that just get into the mix, start a fight. It's fine. Do it. It kills the game off. It's fine.
We need a player that will run in and say, "You're chopping our best player. I'm going to come in and chop you down."
That's Mario.
Yeah, but do you want to sacrifice a center back? It's always better to have a midfielder that does that, right?
Yeah, but
if he gets the red card, you can survive. A center back, you can't.
Yeah, true.
Right, Tristan?
Or even a straight out striker that will just go in and go, no, I'm not going to take any of that.
Right. No nonsense.
Yeah.
Get ugly with it. Yeah, ugly's good late in the game. I'm fine with that.
We need a Kevin Muscat. We need a Kevin Muscat type player.
There it is. There it is. Anger. We need some anger out there. I'm with it. Roberto Espinoza says Blackman and Moon both really vibe with Vela, to be fair. No, if you look at the distribution numbers for Blackman and how well he passes the ball, he's extremely accurate. And he's also got good long distance passing. He does. He really does. There's been some killer cuts that he's put into the game. Same with Segura. There's been some great moments with those two that have really distributed well. So I don't question Blackman at all in the lineup. He does belong in the 4-3-3. He does great at right back. No question. It's just what kind of dynamic play do you want from that position? Do you want a lot of overlapping play? Then it's Moon. Do you want more control? Then it's Blackman. Do you get them both at times? Yeah, for sure you do. It feels like an embarrassment of riches on the right side with those two in the game. That's for sure. And I do feel bad if any of them don't get minutes, right? Because they really are starters. They are.
Of course.
For sure. Any more comments you guys see? Or, dude, did they run out of breath? You guys haven't run out of breath. No, they haven't. No. Here it goes. They never do. It's a beautiful thing. We love it. I knew when Maria was out at 45 we were going to lose. It felt kind of scary, I agree. I didn't think we were going to lose, but we didn't lose. But yeah,
it felt like one. Yeah.
Marvin, Bob thought Blackman and Farfan could hold down the defense. I don't know if he thought or that he had to deal with it. I can't help but feel like, all right, who do I have? Blackman and Farfan back there, or we bring the new kid in that's been playing in Vegas? What are we going to do, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to bring a kid in. So it's tough. If it felt like an injury sub, or at least a precautionary sub, we'll call it that. Hooligan Ox, I just want our guys to put it all out on the pitch and get us some wins. And then Roberto brings in left side is... Oh, I skipped it. We'll jump back. Left side is the weak side. Well, I mean, against Portland, it came from that side. In this last match, it came from that side. I agree. There's something going on there. And that's where I just do believe Edwards is the better technical option in most cases on that side. I don't think Palacios' defensive play is what we expect from him yet. His distribution, his attack is, he presses really well, but it just seems like when he's tracking back, it's not quite what we've been looking for yet. He's not there yet. And we said that early on, that there's just something's not quite clicking yet with him defensively. And I think we're still going to struggle with that for a little while here. That's what bam.
Here's a question for you. Do you put Palacio as a midfielder and Edwards as a defender?
I would be okay. So if we played 4 or 5 in the middle, like say you're playing the 4-2-3-1, like you're playing with a wide mid, then Palacios can do that job. But 3 in the mid, I think would be a little scary with Palacios, and he'd be taking out more important pieces that are already there. Yeah. Honestly, I have more confidence with Edwards right now than I do with Palacios. Straight up.
Yeah. But would you like start Palacio in defense, Edwards on the bench, Edwards comes in for say blessing, Palacio moves up to the midfield?
Nah. I want somebody that can hold the ball up a little bit better. No, I don't. I just don't. I don't see it. I would feel more comfortable with him in a 4-3-3 at the left wing. To be real. I think he would be fine there. But in the mid, no, not holding in the mid. No, I don't. He's got to get it right. We know what he can do. We saw what he did again in the Champions League. He just needs to get it right. And he will. I'm confident that he will. This isn't a permanent situation. It's a temporary remedy is needed. He'll get there. Rastagari. Let Chicho come in the last few minutes and get the red card. They don't have his 2 weeks off to get fitness and gel with the team. No, just stay away. Put him in bubble wrap.
Yeah,
bubble wrap the man. Make sure he's healthy because we need him here. Get him in shape and let's go. Espinoza, Roberto Espinoza says Farfan drives me up the wall. There are moments. That is for sure. He is a reserve. There is no question about that. We know he's not. Yeah. He's not a starter. We know this. He's a kid still. He is learning, just like everybody else in our back line, it seems. Youth kills you at times. These are those moments when it does. Farfan has the upside. There's no doubt. And there's moments when he's been really, really, really good at times, and then his distribution has failed him. Defensively, he's been a little bit, I don't know, better to me. Again, youth and inexperience shows, right? He doesn't. When has he been consistently in one position? He seems like he's constantly shifting between being the left wing back to the center back to it's never consistent for the kid. And so this is where we're at for sure. I think there's more in him. He hasn't been at the level that we want to be at because, again, has been settled for him? No, it hasn't. Roberto Espinoza, Edwards definitely seems to be hungrier and willing to learn. I'm going to throw that in there. Willing to learn. He'll go anywhere. I'm good with it. Marvin Chavez, not a Farfan fan, only at right back depth. And left back depth, I think, is where he belongs. In a 4-3-3, he's fine on the left side or the right side. Wing back, distribution's not quite there. No, it's not there. Center back, he's platooning, and he looks like he's platooning, right? Maybe if he went to Vegas and played center back for a little while and anchored that, then he'd come back like a rock star. But he just needs minutes in that position, and we can't afford to give him those minutes right now. That's for sure. Any more comments? I think we've burned everybody out. There it is. Cool. So, you guys have any other comments to say before we move on to our final thoughts of the day? Tony, you got something you want to throw into that mix? You look like you're ready to throw something into it.
There has been a rumor I've been hearing that Las Vegas is going to be the new MLS expansion. So this is a good conversation for the comments to talk, for anyone just to have conversations around the whole thing. What happens with Lights? Because the owner of Lights has said he wants to keep it in the second division, as we will call it, because that's what it really is. And what happened with, I think, who was it? St. Louis lost their team because of the expansion. But again, at the moment, the Lights are going to be our partners. But again, if that MLS team does come in, what happens? Do they take the spot? Does another team come in and do that? And everything? So then you have to start looking. So what's your guys' thoughts on that?
Ooh, good take. Bam, you go, then I'm going to go.
I think regardless what happens in Vegas, we need an LAFC 2. Plain and simple. We need an LAFC 2. Coming from Australia, when the A-League first started, every team had to have a youth team. They had the Y League, so the youth league had the A-League, W League, Y League. So every team had to have a W League, had to have a Y League. I don't understand why we didn't do that from the get-go. Gonna get a lot of young USL players. Look, we're gonna have our own team. We see potential in you. Come to us. To me, we should just go straight out. If Lights isn't the new MLS team, I can see the new Vegas MLS team taking them as Lights as their backup, like we've done. That's my take.
I think if Vegas gets the MLS team, it's not going to be next week. So you probably get 2 seasons out of the Lights to make your own adjustments. So you do have a little bit of time. You also run pretty much all of their players. They practice here, they train here. So if say the Lights folds, we just move on to some other team and throw the roster into the mix. We could also start our own team, put them in the Inland Empire, far, far away from your typical draw, right? And you go do what you got to do. I think that we're okay with Vegas for 2 seasons. And so I don't have to panic about it yet. And we have enough players mixed in. You're going to see some guys. I think Mesmati is going to be probably the first guy you see come back up full time with us when the time comes, right? He's kind of an experiment down there. He's not even on our payroll, right? He's on theirs, but he's still going to get the discovery rights with us. That's for sure. So it works in the short term now because we are running the team. We're running the football operations. And that's really what we want to do all the way along. Is it weird to me that Vegas did this? I think it's really odd because the identity is just really strange. It is. I hope it gets better for them, but it just seems odd. Now, in terms of the Vegas rumors, I'll throw this one out there because I think we saw it with our own eyes. A certain individual related to Raider lore, okay, fine, the owner of the Raiders, happened to be sighted somewhere in Los Angeles in the last few weeks. I don't know if you guys saw those images. Mr. Davis was in the building. Okay, so he was at the bank. Could have been he just got an invite because, Olympic committee stuff, Vegas venue. No, I think there's a heck of a lot more to it because if you've noticed, a lot of new owners in MLS just seem to walk into our doors and show up right before they get an announcement on a team.
Not only MLS. I know an A-League club went and had some tours of the bank.
Yeah, we seem to be that team now. It's all you guys that did it. It's the 3252 and the madness that we all put in. It's you guys, right? You're showing the whole world what it's, how did you do it as the instant start, go crazy, mad, and awesome. Like everybody looks at us as not a cookie cutter, but at least the inspiration for their clubs. They want what we have. You got to do it organically, of course. It's hard. Ain't easy. But they see it. They see the potential and go, well, if it can work in LA, it can work anywhere. It's not quite the case. But the Raiders ownership, it does sound like it would be Raiders, right? If Mr. Davis is showing up. And that's money. That's billions of dollars at play here in a brand new, beautiful stadium.
Oh, so beautiful.
Maybe he wants... Right? I mean...
Just seeing that whole stadium fill up, and especially with, I know it's a football stadium, that's what it's made for, but it reminds me that stadium, that look reminds me of Bayern Munich Stadium. 100%.
Well, it has that ETF coating, right? It's just blacked out instead of whited out. But that's the only downside. Dude, it's gorgeous. It is a great stadium. Their only downside is the field is very small.
Oh no, and I heard there was right now they're parking, letting people in was a problem. But again, this is their first time actually having fans, so this was their quote unquote testing
trial run.
Yeah, trial run. Thank you.
Can you imagine your trial run as a cup final?
Right.
Dare greatly, people.
Look at Atlanta, Austin. Their stadium trial run was a U.S. women's game.
Yeah, you got to do it somehow, some way. I do think that the Atlanta experiment kind of matches the Vegas experiment a little bit better because of the stadium they're trying to fit them into. Mm-hmm. Unless the Raiders are getting really funky with this and going, oh no, we're going to build another stadium around here and get really crazy and go from there. You never know, right? It's Vegas. They like to blow stuff up and build it back up. So you don't know what they're going to do. But having him in the building says a lot. Seeing the rumors toss out, seeing how successful everything was in the Gold Cup, it just makes a little bit of sense. And with Sacramento faltering, something's got to give. Something's got to give. So if you have a billionaire going, I'm in, how do you say no to that?
You can't. You'd be stupid.
And there's a field. It'd be dumb. And it's a natural grass field that they move in and out. It's narrow, but at least it ain't New York City FC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's better. So man, I don't know if they could make it wider. I don't see how with with a field that gets shifted in and out, but they got money. They can make stuff happen, right? If rich guys can go to space when they feel like it, I'm sure you can make a field wider. So
yeah.
Exactly.
There it is. I'm down with it though. I'm totally down with it. If they go, I would the greatest road trips ever. I don't think half of us would survive, but it'd be a great road trip.
Ooh, it's like all over again. Oh my god.
Well, you look at the ice hockey, how many fans they get to it, because people are like, oh, boys weekend, let's go to Vegas. New York Rangers are playing in Vegas this weekend. Let's have a boys weekend. Let's go.
Right? It's just so easy. Yeah. It's a drive. So I'll just tell the story because those of you who know Apple Juice, Vincent Ford from Black Army and Jay Botello and all those guys, these guys left their car at my place, right? They carpooled together. But my house, I guess, was the staging area, right?
Yeah.
And these guys show up at 8 a.m., all right, hook it up, take some flags from here and go, right? And they get there in time to tailgate. They tailgate, watch the game, clean things back up, drive back home. They showed up at my place at midnight. It was at midnight, okay? That's a run for a road trip for just an MLS match? How easy is that? If you thought we embarrassed San Jose, you just imagine what we're going to do if we get that giant stadium to get crazy in. It's going to be fun. I hope it happens.
Oh, I
really
can see the whole Bank of California stadium taking over.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be make it California East. Yeah, well, it's on. Every casino, every hotel, we're gonna book it up. Like it's there. It is the pool party. We can have our own pool parties. Like make it happen. Good times for sure. Good times. So I could see that happening. Ooh, comments.
Yeah.
Dude, there's so many comments. I can't help but jump in now that we brought this up. Well done, Tony. Bring us the audible at the last second. Ooh, I said audible like football. Ooh,
I was going to bring it up. I was going to bring it up anyway. But one other thing I want to bring up too is whatever happened to the talk of the MLS 2?
That was brought up. It's going to happen. I don't know how we fit into that, but I think it's going to happen. Within 2 seasons? They said, right?
Yeah.
We're already next year.
Yeah.
So
we'll see.
That's why I see, if anything, Vegas, the new Vegas team that, let's be honest, it's going to happen. Takes over the Lights as their second, and we create a second.
Yeah, there's options. There's places to go that need teams. There's people that will be down for it. Hooligan Ox, yep, we need our own second division team. Agreed. It has to happen. Smalls Kenobi, agreed. LAFC 2. Honestly, the club talked about this back in the day that they really wanted this at the end of the day. So it is a part of the plan. It just needs to be financially viable. That was the conversation. It's always been the conversation. Now that we have football operations sharing 2 teams at the Performance Center, it's just a matter of brick and mortar at this time. Yeah, it's going to happen. Marvin, I thought LV Lights was for a year. Next year, everyone knows. Youth team, forgot the name of the new program. The youth team is there no matter what. So that's already happening. It's just, what are we going to do for a pro team? I think that's the conversation. Red Lights is not a permanent partner. If I'm not wrong, it was 3 to 4 year deal because the Lights were looking to be part of MLS. I mean, their owner never really wanted to be an affiliate. It was funny when they kind of took on us because it was really very much against his mantra going into it. I mean, kind of aggressively saying he didn't want that. And then it kind of changed because of what we offered. Pandemic, I think, had a role in that. But yeah, it was never meant to be permanent. That's for sure. Yeah, this is nothing permanent about it. Marvin Chavez, basically LAFC 2. Exactly. Pablo agrees. No matter what we need in LAFC 2, we need our colors. Like I said before, I agree. It's really hard for me to invest in the Lights because that ain't us. Maybe our players are there. I take curiosity in it, but I haven't even been inspired to go to this. Right, I haven't even been inspired enough to go to see him play in Carson because it just doesn't. I don't know. Just doesn't feel right. Alan Marquez, didn't MLS announce that they're making a second? They did separate from USL. Yeah. So we got to see how that plays out with U.S. soccer and all that other. There's so much stuff that's got to move and be proper for it to happen. Probably, yes, it might happen next year, but not all teams are on board. Exactly, because some teams actually have successful USL sides, and they'd be taking a hit if they got rid of those teams. Some of them are actually kind of profitable. They work. It works. So that's a hard sell for everybody. Nestor, ideally, LAFC2 will be best. I believe partnering with the Lights was easier for our young players and will be able to play. It's a good short-term solution. Yeah. Louis V, what's up with the Mexican kid that Vegas signed? Miss Mari? Seasoning. Get the seasoning. I think he just needs minutes, and this is a good chance for him to test himself without sitting on any benches. He's in. He gets to go do his thing.
He did really well last game. If I remember, there was an interview. He did really well, and he talked about what's going on with LAFC a little bit. Forgot who had he interviewed. It's on Twitter somewhere. You can probably find it, but there's an interview with the kid and him talking about LAFC and everything that's going on.
Yeah, the end game is definitely there, no question. He'll be wearing our colors soon enough. I think as early as next season, he'll be getting minutes with us. So could be end of this season. Who knows? Who knows the way things are playing? Roberto Espinoza, I'm hungover just thinking about Vegas away. Did you go, Roberto? I didn't hear if you went, but everybody else but me seemed to go. So, Tony, you didn't go, did you?
No, I was here.
I didn't know we were going to have, like, a carpool at my house randomly. Like, they could have kidnapped me, but it wasn't going to happen. So,
I wanted to go, but I'm glad I didn't go. It would have been mad half the way back.
Oh, you've been mad. I would have been euphoric and would have been hard to get me back home. So
all I have to say is Congratulations. Have fun. Make it an international tournament. I'll be up watching the Olympics, so I'll just throw that little jab in there.
I'm sorry I couldn't hear. I'm too busy polishing my trophies. You're only as, and I'll say this in a rivalry match, and somebody get mad because of our current rivalry situation. In a rivalry, you're only as good as your last. In this case, your last two. And that's how rivalries work. You can say all the things about the history. We can talk about World Cup 2002 if we want to dig back.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't mean anything anymore. It's what happens in your latest match, and that's all that matters. It's the rivalry. It's live. It's legit. So, dude, do you think Mexico is going to just keep taking it? No, I expect Mexico to bounce right back into this next one. They're going to take it to us. And also, Mexico likes to qualify and win the Gold Cup when it's connected to other tournaments. All of a sudden, they play much different, and we tend to falter when it gets connected to other tournaments. That's hard truth. So,
I just realized that.
Am I not telling the truth?
No, yeah.
Right?
I was gonna say, Tato's gone, by the way.
What? Really?
Yeah, I've heard. I think I don't know if it's official, but I've heard that he's gone. So for anyone in Atlanta listening, if they listen to us, start your bring back Tato hashtag.
Dude, I'd sack Bearhalter to get him. Sorry, that's just my head.
Yeah.
No, I think he's dynamic. He's unfortunate in the games that lost. I don't blame him at all. At all. It's not on him. I think it's crazy to let him go. If Mexico did let him go, it's a step back for them. Who's going to replace him? I don't know. But it's going to be a step back, that's for sure. My take. I know we could talk for hours on that one.
Yeah.
Nestor, I did read Raiders owner is interested. He is. Even read an upgraded stadium to meet MLS from where Karmas, but not surprised when it happens. 3 to 5 years. I don't know. That stadium came up rather quickly in Las Vegas. The new one. That was a fast build. So if they want something bad enough, the Davises are, they are who they are. They get things done. Nestor, yeah, MLS 2 was confirmed. Yes, we just don't know operational situations. The goal is next year, so we'll see what happens there. Thank you guys for the amazing comments. I mean, seriously, it's been a good one tonight. We've had a lot of good comments, a lot of good takes, hard takes, stuff to really get us ready for this match against SKC on Wednesday night, and to get us ready for the next episode, which, like I said, Defenders is going to be joining us. Cross-pod action, people. So that is on. And Tony's shaking his head like, oh boy, what's going to happen next? No, it's going to be good. Again, we're approaching 200. So something's got to give. I'm looking forward. I really, really, really am. And so on that note, we are going to move forward with the final comments of the day. Tony's like, are you really going to throw it at me first? No, I'm not, sir. I'm not throwing it at you first. It's Bam's turn this time. So Bam, you have the floor, my man.
First off, I want to say I know I'm out of lockdown now, but not every state's out of lockdown. So all the fans in Sydney, Southeast Queensland, stay strong. Lockdown does suck. Your mental health does take a massive hit. Reach out. There are people you can talk to. Message me on Twitter. Reach out to me. I'm happy to talk some shit and all that. The only saving grace really is Olympics are going, so we get to watch the Olympics while everyone's locked down. Matilda's going to win the bronze medal. Looking forward to that. They're playing some random team that I'm not really sure who. That demanded that the gold medal game be played at USA prime time for some reason. But other than that, get out there, go to the game on the weekend. Let's get the W. We need the 3 points. Let's get the 3 points.
I like it. Good set. And he does mention the Matildas against the United States women's national team. Yeah, I can't blame you. Honestly, they've been playing better anyway, so I think this could be a medal-less year for the United States for the first time. And yeah.
I'm interested to see what happens with the A-League memes and MLS memes pages, because they've been going a bit back and forth against each other at the moment.
Right.
So jump on Facebook, Twitter, look up A-League memes. Them and the MLS memes are going a little bit back and forward. So whoever run those pages, keep it up.
It's good. We dig it. No, dude, the Olympics have been beautiful. I like seeing new faces. Really, any upset's a good upset to me when it comes to the Olympics, unless it's the Russians. Sorry, Russians, just not my vibe. Don't
The ROC.
Yeah, it's weird. It's all weirdness. So no, and first time ever getting a gold I love hearing those stories. Those are the best stories. So, changing the guard is not necessarily a bad thing. And honestly, the United States women's national team needs a good shakeup. Let's be real, right? This generation's been in the same spot for a while now. It's been a dialogue that's been the same dialogue. Sometimes results like that are this painful need to happen for necessary changes to happen. So let's see what happens next there. On that note, I'm checking over, and Tony's sitting there like, I'm just waiting. Tony, it is your turn, sir. Go for it.
Final take is honestly on all you guys listening. To be honest, we are still trying to figure out this new setup that we have going on. Message us, see what you like. We are going to start posting more official stuff on our Instagrams and social medias to keep you guys interactive with us, come banter with us or anything like that. Reach out to us, see what you guys would like to see. You know what I mean? If you want to see more posts, more depending on how far we get, and like if we get some nice little giveaways, maybe we'll do that. Just reach out, see what we can do. And again, we just want to grow this pod to what it potentially could be. You know what I mean? Because again, we don't grow unless you guys help us out. And because this is your podcast, not our podcast, your podcast.
Well said, my brother. Right on point. Now, Heart of LAFC, as you all know, has always been the community-generated podcast. Jerry and I got into it way back in the day, and now I've been going crazy with this as we approach episode 200. I know, it's nuts. And the amazing cast of characters and passionate voices that have been on air with us, giving their all, donating their time, again, for free, guys. This is not a profit operation at all. It's cost me money to run this thing, because we do it out of our hearts, right? We love this club. We want to talk about this club. We want to keep the conversation going. That is for sure. And, when the pandemic was happening, we just doubled down and got more episodes out there, and just kept a voice going. And now that it's busy and crazy, and now there's more voices popping up, right, in the podcast community. You know what? The more said about LAFC, the better. That at the end of the day, the more people talking up the game only helps us. Whether they're happy voices, angry voices, it doesn't matter. It's about us. So, and when I say us, I do. When I talk about LAFC, it is us. There's no question about that. It's always been about the community. So, on that note, I will say this: I can't wait to see you all on Wednesday, supporting our team. Happy, sad, up, down, does not matter. We're still going to be there together as our community, supporting our team. Doesn't matter the results. We can be angry, but we'll still be there for them, and that's the key. That's always been our message for staying golden, right? Stay golden. What does that mean? It means represent your colors through thick and thin. They don't run. These are our colors. This is who we are. This is our identity. Results will happen. It takes time. We can't be spoiled with it. So on that note, SKC comes to town. We need to throttle those guys. We're all on board for that. If we don't, we'll be talking about it again on Thursday, just like we've done. The boys will be back, I am sure. But of course, It's going to be a much busier pod because yes, the boys from Defenders of the Bank will be here. Challenge them to give me a vinyl. Throw me on one. It's good. And we're going to have a good time with this. And you're going to see a lot more guests on Heart of LAFC, just like they're coming on. But you're going to see Pod Fam. You're going to see Supporter Fan. I think at this point, we're going to keep it as community as we possibly can. Rather than keeping it thin and narrow, no, we want to blow it up even further. So that's where we're at, guys. And so from you guys, of course, we want to hear more feedback from you. If you want to see scarves from us, scarves will come. You want to see pins, you want to see hats like these crazy custom ones that we're wearing. You want to see that stuff, we'll go for it. Let's be honest, it costs money to run this thing. So if there's something that can placate that, we will do that. But at the end of the day, again, it's for the community. At the end of the day, that's what we do. So on that note, shall we say it again, guys?
Stay golden.
1, 2, 3. Stay golden.
Stay golden.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.